All right, cool. We're live. Can you guys hear me all right? Josie, Nick, can you hear me? What's going on? Okay, so I'm just doing a test to see if it's working. Before I start, I don't want to start unless it's working good. Josie, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me good. I'm going to wait for people to show up so that we can do this properly. Is there a delay or anything? Okay, we're good. Cool. Let's see if there's anyone. I'm going to give it till 7:15, but how's it look? Way better? Isn't it sick? Temu. I think this was like $5 on Temu. So I figured, why not? Nick, how'd you like all that stuff I sent you? Did it all work out? I got props for tonight. I got a whole bunch of questions. We're doing it a way different style, but I'm not gonna start. I won't explain that until about 7:15 before we get started. So we're not starting just quite yet. So if you are gonna play and participate in the trivia tonight, you're gonna wanna give me a thumbs up in the chat. It's gonna work way different than it did last fall or in the wintertime. It's gonna be more Jeopardy styled. So you know that Godzilla that you ordered from my Shopify store got me in so much trouble on Shopify? Like, it was crazy. Hi, Phoenix. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the trivia night. What do you think of my Wayne's World hat? It's a little bit small, but I'm finding all kinds of retro stuff online. Yes, you do have to know how to spell. So it's going to be, like I said, it's more Jeopardy style this year. So I'm going to go over all the rigmarole in like 2 minutes. So once that clock hits 7:15, we're going to go for 1 solid hour. So we're going to do as many questions as we can get in an hour, and there's going to be a point total at the end. And instead of me doing gift cards to my store, I'm just picking a random item from my collection, and I'm going to gift it to whoever wins for the week. So this week, it's this little guy. It's Stinky, the Casper hand puppet from Pizza Hut. This is what you're playing for. You could do whatever you want with it. You could gift it. You could keep it. Getting in close to Halloween, you can have it as a decoration. This is for tonight. And then for the grand prize for the finale, whoever wins the season series is going to get like a big mystery box from some of my like stock, whatever I decide to put in there. It'll be all random. What's up, Buck? So we're going 1 minute. I'll start really explaining everything in 1 minute. Yeah. Let me see who else is here. I'm expecting a lot of the usual suspects, but I know that I kind of only did it with like a week's notice. I was waiting on this to get in. I didn't want to shoot my video until I had my sweet backdrop. There's a little bit more lighting, and I'm not sitting on a couch. That was super uncomfortable last year. So as we go, I'm going to decorate it for Halloween and stuff. And so it might be some like nights that are more Halloween centric or Christmas centric as we get close. Oh yeah, very official. Just wait till Vanna White rolls up and starts like working the board for me. Okay, so we're at 7:15. This is the rules for trivia nights fall season. We're going Jeopardy style. There's going to be 6 categories tonight. The categories are 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and a mixed random question, okay? So how it's going to work is I'm going to ask the first question. It'll be a consensus on who wants to start, what category is going to start with. There's 10 questions in each category. There's 5 1-point questions, 3 2-point questions, and 2 5-point questions. Now, obviously, the 1-point questions are going to be a little bit easier. The 2-point questions are going to be a little bit harder. And the 5-point questions are going to be significantly harder. So there's a good way that if you're not fast for the 1-point questions that everybody's probably going to know, you're going to have a chance to win because you might get more of the 5-point questions right. And if you answer the question correctly first in the chat, it's got to be my chat. Okay, I have 2 going right now so I can see who's getting first. You will control the board, so you'll pick the next category. So if you feel like you are an expert at 80s movies, then you might want to ask, and we're only going for an hour, okay? So if you're an expert in 80s movies, you might want to do 80s movies 5-point question. You don't have to pick a 1 or a 2 in sequence. You could go 5 and then really set yourself up. So that is how it's going to go tonight. So as we go, I will take like breaks to explain it. So if you're here at the beginning, it might seem a little redundant 15 minutes in, but as I see the amount of people coming and going in the chat, might need a refresher if people don't understand how we're doing it. I've modded Nick and Josie. I'll probably mod Buck at some point. If you could just control the chat, keep it on point, like people just, you know how last year some people got silly. So if you could just, don't boot them, just put them on timeout for like a day. Yeah, so I'll go through it. Tonight's gonna be like kind of like a preseason game for all the football fans out there. We're gonna learn. I want to see how it goes. I want to see the pacing and structure. Reminder: this is the new sweet swag trophy that's coming out. We really spared no expense on that, guys. You can see it's Ronnie McDonald. Names will be engraved in infamy, and we're playing for this guy, Stinky. It's not an indication that anybody that wins it is stinky. It's just how we go. So we can start. We'll start at 7:20. We'll go straight to 8:20. So we've got 2 minutes. Once again, the categories for tonight on my trusty marking board: 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed nostalgia. So it could be anything. It could be anything retro. There will be no bonus questions. This is strictly game show. There'll be no final showdown or stuff like that. It's going to be most points at the end of 1 hour. So if we're running behind, we might not get to, I have 60 questions prepared, but we may not get to all 60. We might get to 30. And next week, the categories will be totally different. So we might have 80s music, 90s movies, 80s TV, 80s toys. You never know. So that's what it is for tonight. We're 1 minute till game time. 1 minute, and we'll be starting up. And we'll go right till 8:20. So if you are ready to rock and you are going to participate, give me a thumbs up in chat so I can get an idea of who's all playing. I'm going to be scorekeeping here. Thank you. Don't push my buttons. Dun, dun, dun. I think Peyton's going to play tonight too, my daughter. I don't know where she's at, but she's going to be joining in. She wanted to see the questions today. I didn't let her because she said she was going to play. We're like 1 minute, less than 1 minute away. So the categories for tonight: 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed nostalgia. I think we'll go with the winner of last year to start. So Nick, you can start us off. Pick a category and a point value for your first question, for the first question for everyone. Give me a category and a point value. You can just put whatever you want. I'll get it. That's cool. If you know the answer, Phoenix, you might as well just put it in. We're going to do 80s games, 1 point. Okay, so 80s video games, 1 point. All right, here we go. What 4-player game allowed you to become either a warrior, a wizard, a Valkyrie, or an elf? If you know the answer, be first in the chat with the name of the video game. What 4-player game allowed you to become either a warrior, wizard, Valkyrie, or elf? If you think you know the answer, put it in the chat. Nick is correct with Gauntlet. So Nick has 1 point so far. I gotta cross that off. Nick, you control the board. Go ahead and ask the next question. You've got 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed. Nick, you can pick the next topic, whatever one you want. '80s games for 5 points. Okay, so this will be a harder question. 5-point question. 80s video games. How many games were originally part of the launch titles for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985? I need the total amount of games. How many games were originally part of the launch titles for the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985? If you think you know, put it in the comments. Or the chat, rather. 6 is incorrect, Josie. Good guess. 3 is incorrect. Oh, I need my bell. This is a tough one. 16 is incorrect. Anyone else? 10 is incorrect. We will go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 64 is incorrect. The correct answer, Josie, 12's not right either. The correct answer, 17 original titles were in the Nintendo launch titles for 1985. 17. You were pretty close, so nobody gets a point there. That's the danger of the 5-pointers. They're hard, but they're worth a lot. So, Nick, you still control the board. Pick the next question for me. Hi. Next question, Nick. Feel free to ask. You've got 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed. It was close. 90s music, 2 points. All right, here we go. So this is going to be a question about 90s music. I don't want to get my things all disorganized. All right, it's a 2-point question, which means it's going to be a little bit difficult. If you think you know the answer, put it in the comments. Which member of the Spice Girls was known as Sporty Spice? I need her real name. Which member of the Spice Girls was known as Sporty Spice? I need her real name. Victoria Beckham is incorrect. Oh, you guys are slacking on your 90s. Mel C is incorrect. Need her full name, Josie. Mel B. I need the full name, not the last initial. You're like right there. What member of the Spice Girls was known as Sporty Spice? Melanie Chisholm is correct. Everything at once. You get the point. Everything at once. I got to write your name down. That's 2 points. We have a new leader. So you get the point. Ooh, Melanie Jane Chisholm. You got. I didn't need that much details, but that's awesome. Okay, so Melanie Chisholm is correct. Good job, CS. Yeah, I know they did, but I'm going to be a stickler for points this year. You're going to have to earn them. Everything at once. You have control of the board. Pick a topic and a point value. 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, or mixed nostalgia. The board is yours. So you're going to pick either 1, 2, or 5-point question. So I need everything at once to pick the next round. 90s movies, 3 points. So I don't have 3-point questions. I have 1, 2, and 5. You want 5 or 2? Oh yeah, I have 3. No, I have 5. Yeah. 1, 2, and 5. Everything at once. 2-point or 5-point? 2. All right, here we go. You said 90s movies, but I'm going 80s movies because we don't have 90s movies as a topic. It's 80s movies. I'm sorry. We're going 2-point question. You control the board. Here we go. Which 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series? What 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV series? If you know the answer to the question, leave it first in the chat and you'll get 2 points. What 80s movie spawned 6 sequels and a TV show? Police Academy is correct. Josie with the point. Good job, Josie. That's 2 points for you. You have control of the board, Josie. Pick a category and a point value. I think you know the categories and stuff right now. You should have an idea. '90s music for 5. Let's go. 90s music, 5-point question. Get ready. This one's going to be tough. All right, here we go. What was the only song to reach #1 on Billboard's alternative music chart in the 90s for the band Semisonic? If you know the answer, leave it first in the chat and you will get a point. Or you'll get 5 points. This could be a differentiator right here. Here's the question again. What was the only song to reach #1 on Billboard's alternative music chart in the 90s for the band Semisonic? Closing time. Well done. Buck, you got it. So Buck's got 5 points now. Buck, you control the board. Pick a topic and a point value. Topic and point value. That was a good one. 90s toys for 1. We're going easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Get your fingers ready on this one. Where's my 90s toys at? Bear with me. I gotta find the 90s toys here. I need to make better questions or spreadsheets. Okay, 90s toys, 1 point. Here we go. It's a prop question. It's a prop question. So I told you there'd be props. Here we go. 1 point. If you know the answer to this question, you can leave it in the chat. You get 1 point. 90s toy line featuring figures that actually broke apart on purpose. What's the name of this toy line? You know? Leave it first in the chat. Crash Test Dummies is correct. Crash Test Dummies is correct. Buck, you got a point. Puts you at 6 points. You have control of the board. Buck, pick a topic and a point value for the next question. 90s TV for 1. Here we go. 90s TV. 1 pointer. Get your fingers ready because this one should be pretty easy. 1 point question. If you know the answer, leave it first in the chat. You're going to get 1 point and control of the board. Which actor played the famous Mr. Bean character? Which actor played Mr. Bean? I need the correct spelling of his name. Rowan Atkinson is correct. Buck, that is another point for you. Well done. Buck, you control the board. Fire it up. Another question. Another point value. Nobody's picked the mixed nostalgia yet. I thought that would be one. Everybody was pretty quick on that one. The 1 pointers are going to be super easy. But the 2s and 5s are going to be nasty. Mixed for 2. See, I prompted that one. Okay, mixed question. This one is going to be any form of general knowledge from back in the day. Where is it? I gotta get a better way to do this. Hold on. Swear I have the paper here. Here we go. It's a 2-pointer, right? Okay. When the Connecticut Leather Company shortened its name to Coleco, they were the leading manufacturer of what? When the Connecticut Leather Company shortened its name to Coleco, they were the leading manufacturer of what? If you know the answer, leave it first in the chat, and you're going to get 2 points and control of the board. Gloves is incorrect. Hi, Parker. Gloves is incorrect. ColecoVision is incorrect. This could have been a 5-pointer. It's pretty tough. Game consoles is incorrect. Good guess. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I need the bell. Somebody remind me to have the bell next week. The answer was above ground swimming pools. Coleco originally made above ground swimming pools. That is what they did prior to getting into the toy world. Buck, you still have control of the board, so you can ask the next question. Sweet. I just got an old Furby in. I love old Furbies. Mixed for 1. Oh, you had to go mixed. I'm like unable to find the mix sheet. 90s music. Hold on 1 sec. Bear with me 1 second. I'm just in the middle of, I think I lost a piece of paper. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. 90s for 1. What is the name of the Rice Krispie mascots? Okay, so I need all 3 names. What are the names of the Rice Krispies mascots? If you know, be first in the chat, and you get a point. Snap, Crackle, and Pop is correct. Everything at once, that is your point. You are in control of the board. You can pick the next question. So we've got 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed nostalgia. If you have a preference, pick one and a point value. '80s movies for 5. Let's go. Okay, 80s movies for 5. I don't know how this got so disorganized, but 80s movies for 5. 5-point question. This one's going to be pretty tough. What is the name of the woman Gary and Wyatt create in Weird Science? What is the name of the woman that Gary and Wyatt create in Weird Science? Hi, Savannah. If you know, be first in the chat and you'll get a point. What is the name? Oh, see, it's a tough one. What is the name of the woman Gary and Wyatt create in Weird Science? We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2. Lisa is correct. Savannah, let's go. Savannah, with control of the board, you have 5 points. Good job. Savannah, you could pick 90s movies or 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, or mixed, and pick a point value, 1, 2, or 5. '90s music 5. Ooh, okay, let's go. 90s music 5-point question. Here we go. If you know the answer, this is the last 5-point question for 90s. So this is a good chance to make points up. What day of the week were The Cure in love in their 1992 #1 song? What day of the week were The Cure in love in their 1992 #1 song? Friday is correct. Good job, Buck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost knocked it over. Okay, Buck, you have control of the board. There's no 5-point questions left in 90s music. You can go 90s music for 1 or 2, 80s, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed. You have control of the board, Buck. Pick a topic. 80s video games for 2. Okay, here we go. In the original Super Mario Brothers game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, what do the Toads tell you after each of the first 7 castles? I need the exact phrasing of that. In the original Mario Brothers for the Nintendo, what do the Toads tell you at the end of each of the 7 castles? At the end, what do they tell you? Ooh, you guys are close. That's not correct. You're missing part of it. It's me, Mario. Not correct. You guys are close. I said I was going to be sticklers for points this year, so we'll keep it close. Got to get the exact phrasing. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Savannah got it. Savannah got it with 2. 1, 2. It was thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle. So that was pretty good. Job. Savannah, you have control of the board. Pick a topic and a point value. 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed. There is no 80s music tonight. There is 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys. 80s video game, how many points? 1, 2, or 5? 1 pointer, okay. 80s video game for 1 point. You know the answer to the question, leave it first in the chat. We're gonna go, what Atari game sold so badly that millions of cartridges were crushed and buried in the New Mexico desert? What Atari video game undersold so badly that millions of cartridges were crushed and buried in New Mexico? E.T. is correct. Looks like Josie got there first. Josie, that's your point. 1 point question. Josie, you have control of the board. I need a point value and a question and a topic. '90s TV for 2. Let's go. 90s TV, 2-point question. What former Playboy model won the role of Tool Time Girl on Home Improvement? What former Playboy model won the role of Tool Time Girl on Home Improvement? If you know, be first in the chat. Pamela Anderson is correct. Buck, that is your point for 2. Here is the score update for right now. After these questions, we are a quarter of the way in. So Nick has 1 point. Everything at Once has 3 points. Josie has 3 points. Savannah has 7. And Buck has 14. So Buck is in first place right now. But it's still anybody's game. It is Buck's control of the board. And you have the next topic in question. Mixed for 1. Okay. I got you. Here we go. Mixed nostalgia. 1 point question. What movie marked the beginning of a long string of successful Disney movies, sometimes called the Disney Renaissance era? Which movie marked the beginning of a long string of successful movies that is sometimes called the Disney Renaissance era? If you know, be first in the chat. The Little Mermaid is correct. Little Mermaid is the correct answer. Buck, you have control of the board. Feel free to ask the next question. Well, thanks, Parker. Nailed it. So you've got mixed for one again. Okay. What is the title of the first installment of R.L. Stine's Goosebumps series? What is the title of the first installment of R.L. Stine's Goosebumps series? If you know, be first in the chat. Welcome to the Dead House is correct. Well done, Savannah. Savannah, you've got control of the board. Pick a topic. 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed. Hi, Joshua. Well, Savannah's got control of the board, but to get control of the board, you got to be first in the comments. Mixed for one? Okay, mixed for one. The Coca-Cola Company released this drink to compete with Mountain Dew. The Coca-Cola Company released this drink in the 90s to compete with Mountain Dew. If you know, be first in the chat. Mr. Pibb is incorrect. Coca-Cola is incorrect. Surge is correct. Nick, you got the point. You have control of the board, Nick. Feel free. We've got one more point question or one more 1 point question left in mixed nostalgia. And there's no 5 point questions left in music. So fire up a topic and a point value. Oh, thanks, Josh. That's awesome. Mixed for one. Okay, so we're closing off the 1 pointers in mixed. This one is worth 1 point. If you know, be first in the chat. Hasbro trademarked this toy's smell. Hasbro trademarked this toy's smell. There'll be trivia nights every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. Pop-Tart is incorrect, but Play-Doh is correct. Buck, that's your point. Play-Doh is the correct answer. So that closes off mixed for 1 point. We still have 2 point questions left in mixed and 2 5 point questions left in mixed as well. So Buck, you've got control of the board. I've never actually eaten Play-Doh, to be honest with you. The scores, I will do a scoreboard update in 2 minutes after the next question. And then I'm going to do a rundown on the rules. 80s games for 5. Okay, so we're going to go to 80s video games for 5 points. Here we go. This will be the last 80s video game question for 5 points. So if you are an 80s video game expert, be first in the chat for 5 points. This Nintendo game forced you through an underwater level with plants that shocked you and had a super catchy tune, although it was very anxiety-inducing. What game am I referring to? If you are in 80s, Mario Bros. And Sonic are incorrect. Battletoads is a good guess, but not correct. Gracie Super Mario Bros. Is incorrect. I've actually featured this on my channel. It's got like underwater, you're swimming to defuse things. Ninja Turtles is the correct answer. Nick got it right. That was a 5 pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so as it stands right now, Nick has control of the board, but for a scoreboard update, Nick's got 7. Everything at Once has 3 points. Josie has 3. Buck's got 16, and Savannah's got 8. So this is how tonight's working. There's 6 categories: 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video games, and mixed nostalgia. Once you get the correct answer in the chat, you got to be first on my screen. You get control of the board. You can pick anyone you want. If you're somewhat of an expert, you might want to stick in that category. You're playing for this tonight. A Casper Pizza Hut stinky glow-in-the-dark hand puppet. Whoever wins tonight, I'm going to get a hold of me, and this is going to get mailed out. 90s TV got a 2 still? I think so. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Yeah? We want to do that, Nick? 90s TV for 2? Okay, here we go. 90s TV for 2. 2 points. Ruby, Joey, and Tony Russo were all random characters on what famous 90s TV show? Ruby, Joey, and Tony LaRusso were all members of which famous 90s TV show? If you know the answer, be first in the chat and you will get 2 points. It's still anybody's game. Full House is incorrect. Karate Kid, Brotherly Love are incorrect. Who's the Boss, Full House. Nobody's gotten there yet, but all good guesses. The tagline from this show, the one character, Joey, he would always say, "Whoa!" Blossom is correct. Savannah, 2 points. Well done. That is where the tying your shirt around your waist craze came from. So everybody that remembers tying their shirt around their waist, that's from Joey Lawrence. Savannah, you have control of the board. Pick a topic and a point value. Let's go pick one mix for 2. Okay. Do we have mix left for 2? Yep. All right. The Apple computer was released in 1984 with a groundbreaking ad filmed by this famed director. The Apple computer was released in 1984 with the groundbreaking ad filmed by this famed director. Spielberg is incorrect. This director, I believe, is releasing a movie in about a month. Spielberg is incorrect. George Lucas is incorrect. Scorsese is incorrect. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Question time is over. You guys were stumped on that one. That was almost a 5-pointer. I just had some good ones for mixed. The director in question is Ridley Scott from Gladiator. Too late, Savannah. You missed the cutoff. Barack Obama. No, I don't think so. But you still have control of the board. Pick another topic and point value. So you can go 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, 80s video game, mixed nostalgia. Savannah, you have control of the board. You pick whatever you want. Mixed for 5. Ooh, dun, dun, dun. All right, here we go. The 1950s show Sam and Friends featured a puppet that was the forerunner of this popular puppet character. The 1950s kids show Sam and Friends featured a puppet that was the forerunner of this popular puppet character. This is a tough one. Kermit the Frog. Well done, Buck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Buck, you have control of the board. That was a great job. So we are left with one 5-point question left in mixed. Yeah, I can't believe you got that right. That was crazy. Like really, really good. But Buck, you have control of the board. Pick a topic and a point value. '90s music for 2. Okay. 90s music 2-point question. Which British pop group had a hit with Never Ever? I feel like I got the answer wrong on this one, so I might have copied the same thing twice. Which British pop group had a hit with Never Ever? TLC is not correct. Bear with me, I gotta check. Yeah. Everything at Once, you are correct. All Saints is the correct answer, so that's 2 points for you. That gives you 5 points, and you have control of the board. Everything at Once, you can ask the next question. Pick a topic and a point value. There are 1 2-point question left in 90s music. 80s movies has not really been touched too much. Feel free to pick a topic and a point value. 80s movies for 5. Okay. This will be the last 80s 5-point question. Here we go. If you know the answer, make sure you leave it first in the chat. Who played the older brother Chet in Weird Science? Who played the older brother Chet in Weird Science? If you know, be first in the chat, and you'll get a point. Who played the older brother Chet in Weird Science? You know you want this trophy. You gotta get points to get it. We're gonna go 5, 4, 3. Bill Paxton is correct. Well done, Savannah. Jeez. 1, 2. Okay, so Savannah, you have control of the board. There are no 5-point questions left in 80s movies. So if you want to go to another 5-point question, you might have to go 90s TV, 90s toys, something else. Pick a top mix for 2. I don't know if we have any mixed 2s left. Let me check. Yep, we do. All right, here we go. I actually featured this answer in a short video recently. So there's a hint. This outdoor game and predecessor to cornhole was banned due to the fact a bunch of children were injured due to the design of the particular item used. Jarts is correct. I was going to take jarts or lawn darts, but hey, what's up, Scrumple? Nice to see you. So who got jarts first? I think that was Buck, right? So that was 2 points for Buck. Yeah. There's harder questions that will take a longer time. So Buck, you have control of the board. There are no 2-point questions left. I think mixed might be closed. Nope, there's one 5-point question left in mixed. Yeah. So this is the last mixed question. Then mixed is gonna be crossed off. You saw that short? Yeah, that was fun. I played lawn darts as a kid, but we played them way differently. We'd throw them way up in the air and then run away from them. Okay, 5-point mixed nostalgia question. If you know, be first in the chat with the answer. Hasbro originally made these before toys. So the toy company Hasbro that makes all the Transformers and everything that you remember, or that you played with, or that you still play with, they originally made this before. Pop-Tarts is incorrect. Clothes is incorrect. They did not start with toys, Kai. Cereal is incorrect. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ding. Okay, everyone is cut off. Any right answers are going to be ruled invalid. The answer is school supplies. So originally Hasbro started their industry making school supplies and switched it up to toys afterwards. So the 5-point questions are going to be really, really hard. They're good water cooler facts if you want to impress your friends and neighbors. But that being said, mixed is off the board. There are no more mixed questions. So you're going to have to stick with either 90s music, 80s movies, 90s TV, 90s toys, and 80s video games. So who last had control of the board? Buck? So Buck, you've got next question. 80s movies for 1? Okay. I'm going to make flashcards for next week so that I don't have to shuffle through these papers because it's driving me nuts. 80s movies, 1 point. This one's pretty easy, so it should be a good opportunity for you to grab a point. Which famous Star Wars actor also starred in 1982's Blade Runner? If you know, be first in the chat and you will get a point. What Star Wars actor starred in Blade Runner as well? Harrison Ford is the answer I was looking for. Kai, you were close. You got to have the correct answer. Harrison died. It's not his name. Harrison Ford is correct. Nick, you get the point. 1 point. Nick, you have control of the board. Pick a topic and a point value. That's okay. You had it right. You'll get the next one. Nick, you have control of the board. Fire up a question and a point value. Who's gonna win, Stinky? Okay, so we've got 90s music, but no 5-pointers left. 80s movies with no 5-pointers left. 90s TV, where there are 2 5-pointers left. 90s toys, where we've got 5-pointers left. And 80s video games, which I think has 5-pointers available too. So, up to you. 90s toys for 5? Okay. 90s toys, 5-point question. Be first in the chat and you will get 5 points. This is a good way to catch up. This one should not be too hard, but it's going to be looking for the correct answer fully. Name the 3 companies that collaborated to release fast food toys for the release of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in 1999. Name the 3 companies that collaborated to release fast food toys for the release of Star Wars: The Phantom Menace in 1999. I feature these toys on my channel quite a bit. Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and Burger King is incorrect. Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC is correct. So that is Nick's point. Nick gets 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That brings Nick up to 13, which vaults him into 3rd place. Good job, Nick. Burger King was incorrect. That's okay. That's why these are 5-pointers. They're a little bit harder. Okay, Nick, you have control of the board. There's another 5-point question left in 90s toys. So there's a good chance to catch up. '90s toys, you want another 5-point question? Okay, here we go. This is a 5-point question. Nobody really wanted to play with these toys. They just really wanted to be the one to stretch them out to the point where they could break them. What toy was it? Stretch Armstrong is correct. Kai, you have 5 points. Well done. Kai, good job. You are on the board with 5 points. You now have control of the board. Kai, you have control of the board. There are no 5-point questions left for 90s toys, however. Nobody has hit any of the prop questions I have ready. They weren't in mix. They might, if you know my channel, you probably know where they're going to be. So you have control of the board. Kai, pick a topic and a point value, whatever one you want. So you want 80s movies, give me a point value. '80s movies for how many points? So there's 1-point questions left and 2-point questions left. So you can do 1 or 2. 1 will be easier, 2 will be a little bit harder. So 2. So this is an 80s movie question for 2 points. Here we go. Which movie was the first to become a hit largely due to the station MTV? Which movie from the 80s was the first to become a hit largely due to MTV? Which movie became a hit largely due to MTV? Wayne's World is incorrect, but that's a 90s movie. Breakfast Club is incorrect. Good guesses. Wayne's World is incorrect. That's a 90s movie. This is an 80s movie. Flashdance is correct. Well done, Savannah. So that's 2 points to you. You have control of the board. Pick a topic and a point. It was what 80s movie became a hit largely due to MTV? And the answer that was correct was Flashdance. Flashdance was the correct answer. Video games 5. Ooh. We don't have a 5-point question left in video games. Do you want a 2-point question? Savannah, you want a 2-point question in video games, or you want to do a different topic? Sure. Okay, 2-point question. 80s video game, 2-point question. Be first. I'll give a score update after this because we're getting close to we're running 20 minutes left in time. 80s video games. What jungle adventure game from the 80s gave you 20 minutes to find 32 treasures? What jungle adventure video game from the 80s gave you 20 minutes to find 32 treasures? You know? Pitfall. Well done, Nick. 1, 2. Nick, you've got 15 points. Here is the score update as it stands currently. Nick has 15. Everything at once, you have 5. Josie, you've got 3. Buck, you've got 5, 10, 15, 23. So you're in first. Savannah, you've got 17. And Kai, you've got 5. So it's still anybody's game. We've got 20 more minutes, 19 more minutes, and then the game will end. So let's go. Nick, you have control of the board. Fire up a question, Nick, and we'll get into it. There are no questions left for video games in terms of 5-pointers or 80s movies or 90s music. 90s TV has lots. 80s movies, no 5-pointers, but there are questions in 80s movies. There are 1 2-point question and 4 1-point questions left. Up to you. Do you want to go 2 points, 1 point, or switch topics? One point, 80s movies. Okay, here we go. This one is going to be a 1-point question. Here is the quote from the movie. You're going to need to know the name of the movie from the quote. Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns. Is a quote from what 80s movie? Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns. Is a quote from what 80s movie? Karate Kid is incorrect. That would be Wax On, Wax Off. Breathless Club is incorrect. Fast Time Ridgemont High is incorrect. Breathless Club is incorrect. Breakfast Club is correct. Buck gets a point. 1 point. Buck, you have control of the board. '90s TV for 2. All right. This is the final 2-point question in 90s TV. What Ferris Bueller inspired sitcom by Columbia Pictures ran on Fox from 1990 to 1993? What's up, unknown? How are you? What Ferris Bueller inspired sitcom from Columbia Pictures ran on Fox from 1990 to 1993? Yeah, this is a harder question. This could have been a 5-pointer. This is 90s TV. 90s TV trivia. I don't know. I wouldn't know this one either. We got a bunch of I don't knows. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cut off. The answer that I was looking for from 1990 to 1993, Columbia Pictures was inspired by Ferris Bueller to create the TV show Parker Lewis Can't Lose. Parker Lewis Can't Lose was the name of the question. So who had control of the board last? Buck? Buck, you had it, right? Buck, you have next question. 90s TV for 5. Let's go. I was wondering when you guys were going to hit on these 5-pointers from 90s TV. These ones are actually super hard. Like super duper hard. All right. This one is 90s TV trivia for 5 points. Going to be pretty hard. So you'll be a true 90s TV nerd if you get this one right. What 90s sitcom was set at the fictional Tom Nevers Field? What 90s sitcom was set at the fictional Tom Nevers Field? Coach is incorrect. That's a good guess, though. Wings is correct. Wings is correct. Nick, that's your point. That's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nick, get you a point. You have control of the board, Nick. Pick a topic and a point value. There is a 5-pointer left in 90s toys. And I think that's the only 5-pointer left, yeah. Or 90s TV. Okay, 90s TV. 5-point question. Yeah, jump in, Blue Blob. What's going on? 90s. So, okay, Blue Blob, quick explanation. We're doing categories and point values. If you get the question right, you get the point value and control the board to ask for the next category and point value. So that's kind of like Jeopardy, and you can control the board. This is a 90s TV question worth 5 points, so it's going to be a little bit harder. Here we go. What show opened with various Motown lyrics instead of a regular theme song? What 90s TV show opened with relevant Motown lyrics as opposed to a regular theme song? I think I'm going to get a board with like categories on it for next year. Well done. Seinfeld is incorrect. Family Ties is incorrect. Jeffersons is incorrect. All good guesses, but all incorrect. Fresh Prince is incorrect. Good guess. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cut off. Everybody was wrong. All good guesses. The TV show I was looking for was Murphy Brown. Murphy Brown is the 90s TV show that opened with relevant Motown lyrics instead of an actual theme song. Good guesses, though. That's the danger about the 5-pointers. If you don't get them, the points go into the abyss. Yeah, they're straight hard ones. Okay, next, Buck, you have control of the board? Or Nick, did you have control of the board? Nick, I think, had control of the board. Fire up another question, Nick. There are no 5-point questions left. Nick, you have any question? There are 1-pointers, 2-pointers left in 90s toys. 90s toys, 2 points. All right. This is a prop question. Name the company that was responsible for creating these toys from the 90s. Who made these toys that I feature quite often in my channel? Bluebird is correct. Great answer, Josie. 2 points for you. Well done. Bluebird Toys was the company behind both Polly Pockets and Mighty Max. That's right. And you have control of the board, Josie. 90s toys still have 2-point questions left and 1-point questions left. 80s video games has 2-pointers. 90s TV, how many points? There's only 1-pointers left, so you're getting a 1-pointer. 90s TV for 1 point. What ABC sitcom about dinosaurs was the brainchild of Jim Henson? What TV show about dinosaurs was the brainchild of Jim Henson? That was a tough one. Kai, you are correct. Dinosaurs. Told you, the 1-pointers are no joke. You better be ready. I had to give some easy ones because the 5-point questions are so nasty that, figured it would make sense. Josie, you got the control of the board. You thought it was a trick question, I bet. No 5-pointers left. Everybody has snapped them all up. Really? I didn't know that. 90s TV, 1 point. Josie loves the 90s TV questions. Here we go. In the title, Beverly Hills 90210, 90210 refers to what? What is 90210 in Beverly Hills 902? Kai, you got it. Zip code is correct. Well done. Kai, you have control of the board. There are 9 minutes left in trivia. Still anybody's game. It's actually really close. Kai, you could pick 90s TV for 1 point, 80s movies for 1 point, 90s toys for 1 or 2 points. Whatever you want. There's an 80s video game for 2 points left. 90s toys for 1 point. All right. Let's go. What company produced Crash Test Dummies? What company produced these toys in the 90s? I need the name of the company, not the name of the toy. Mattel is incorrect. Kenner is incorrect. It's actually probably harder than a 1-pointer. Ooh, so close, Nick. So close, but not correct. Still not correct. You're so close. What company made these little guys? You're so correct. Tyco is correct. Got the spelling right. Buck with the 1-pointer. I told you guys I was going to be a stickler on spelling. Tyco. Tyco is correct. Buck, you have control of the board. Give me a point value and a topic. 90s music for 1? All right, let's do this. Okay, here we go. If this is going to be pretty easy, so speed is of the essence and spelling is of the essence. Whitney Houston's hit cover version of I Will Always Love You was written by which singer? This is a 90s music question worth 1 point. Whitney Houston's hit cover of the version I Will Always Love You was written by which singer? Ooh, good answers, but all incorrect. Whitney Houston covered the song, but who wrote the song originally? It wasn't Celine Dion. Dolly Parton is correct. Well done, Josie. You just got in ahead of Nick. Josie, you've got control of the board. Pick a topic and a, what do you call it? Point value. 90s music, you've got 1 and 2 pointers left. 80s movies, you've got 1 pointers left. 90s TV, you've got 1 pointers left. 90s toys, you've got 1 and 2 pointers left. 80s video games, you got 1 and 2 pointers left. '80s movies for 2. Which actress plays Ferris Bueller's sister in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Which actress plays Ferris Bueller's sister in Ferris Bueller's Day Off? If you know the answer, be first in the chat and you will get 2 points and control the board. 2 pointers are a little bit harder than the 1 pointers, but still pretty easy. Jen Gray is correct. Jennifer Gray, Nick, that's correct. 1, 2. You have control of the board. There are no more 2-point questions left in 80s movies. Only 1 pointers left. There's only a few 2-point questions left. 80s games, 2 points. Okay, here we go. This is an 80s video game question worth 2 points. And you'll get control of the board. If you're a knight flying around on an ostrich, what game would you be playing? If you're a knight flying around on an ostrich, which game would you be playing? Joust is correct. Well done, Kai. That brings you up to 9 points, and you have control of the board. The only topic with 2-point questions left currently is 90s music and 90s toys. Kai, you have control of the board. You can pick whatever one you want. There's 90s toys for 2 or 1. You want 2 or 1? 2. All right. It's another prop question. Well. Name the toy company behind the toys produced for the 1998 movie Godzilla. Like this egg hatching baby Godzilla. Name the toy company responsible for all the Godzilla toys in the 90s. I have talked about it on my channel before. Trendmaster is correct. Nick, I had a feeling you might get that one. Nick is a giant Godzilla fan, for those of you that don't know. Well done, Nick. That is the final prop question, unfortunately, but there is one more 2-point toy question, and that will eliminate all the 2-point toy questions. So there's one more 2-point question left, and then the rest are all 1-pointers from all the other categories. You want the 2-point toy question? All right. Here we go. This is worth 2 points. What Barbie doll faced a recall in the 90s due to the fact the doll's skates were causing fires? What Barbie doll faced a recall in the 90s due to the fact the doll's skates were causing fires? I need the actual name of the doll. It's not Skater Barbie and it's not Roller Skater Barbie. It has a specific name and I need it in the chat. Rollerblade Barbie is incorrect. Yep, that's correct, but I need the name of the toy. You all are like, you know it, but you don't know the name of it. So who's ever first? Firestarter Barbie. Yes, that is the correct. That's what they went with. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Skid Barbie. No correct answers. I will ring the imaginary bell that I don't have with me right now. I'll have it next week. The name of that Barbie doll was Flicker and Flash Barbie. Flicker and Flash Barbie is the name of that doll. Nick, you have control of the board. There's just a bunch of 1-pointers left, so you can pick anyone you want. There are 2 minutes left in 2 minutes left. And then I'll give a score update. Flicker, Flash, and Fire. Yep, Emerald Ender Barbie. I would have went with Burn Your House Down Barbie, but I don't know. Dealer's choice. All right. We're going to go 90s toys because, you know, why not? This toy from the 90s let you bake colorful pretend insects in order to scare your friends and neighbors. This toy from the 90s lets you bake colorful pretend insects in order to scare your friends and neighbors. Creepy Crawlers is correct. Nick, that is your point. Ooh, it's closing down. Okay, we've got time for one more question. Nick, you have control of the board. Fire it up. Keep going, my call. Okay, let's go. What company developed, this is 80s video games. What company developed Frogger in 1981? What company developed Frogger in 1981? I need the name of the company. Oh, you're doing great, everything. You're fine. Taito and Atari are incorrect. All good answers, though. Ooh, close, but Konami is the correct answer. Nick got there first with the spelling. We've got time for one more question. Nick, do you want me to go dealer's choice or what? This will be the final question of the night. Final question of the night. We're going to go 1-point question, 90s music. Final question of Trivia Night, week 1. Which band performed the Friends theme, I'll Be There For You? Which band performed the Friends theme, I'll Be There For You? I need the name of the band in the chat. Josie, I know you got it. I wonder where Ashley is. She's usually here for this kind of stuff. The Rembrandts is correct. Nick is first with the points. Okay, so here is the stats for the night. I'm going to save some of these questions for the future. That was the first ever night of fall season 1, week 1 trivia. Nick, you have the proud recipient of a Stinky. So he'll be coming your way. now you can put them up for Halloween. So here are the scores for everybody. Nick took the lead at the end there, barely. Nick finished with 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 27. Everything at once, you did great. You had 5 points, which is really, really good, considering this is your first time. A lot of the people in the chat right now are veteran trivia question players with me, so you did great. So you should come next week, and all your season-long points will accrue, so don't give up after 1 week. Josie, you finished with 6, so you did a great job. Buck, you had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So Nick just beat you at the end with those 1-point questions. You were like right there, man. Yeah, Buck, you want Buck to have it? Okay, Buck can have it. Savannah, you finished with 5, 10, 15, 17 points, which was awesome. And you got a lot of really hard ones correct. So kudos to Savannah on that. That was awesome. And Kai, for your first time in my chat participating, you got 9 right, which is really, really good. So welcome to Trivia Night. And I hope you attend next week. It's going to be every Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. Going to go for an hour, so I'll give about a 5-minute lead time when I jump on at 7:15, kind of shoot the breeze with everybody, and then we'll start at 7:20, go straight to 8:20. It's whoever shows up in my chat first. So if you feel like yours is showing up, sometimes your Wi-Fi might be wonky and it might not show up. But this was really fun. I think I much prefer this type of formatting to the one I did last season. It slows it down a little bit more, which is fine, but it will prevent me from having to just kind of like make crazy amounts of questions. But I think what I will do for next week for you all is have a board where you can see the categories real time with the point values. And as we go, I'll wipe them off. I think that's probably the best way to go, so I'm not just going through questions every 5 seconds looking for them and updating. Might be able to get through more questions that way. So I will update a leaderboard next couple days on my community page. So if you are going to be a regular at this and going to be playing, you want to go to my community page and be looking at that, because that's where the statistics are, any announcements about Trivia Night, any stuff like that. So I appreciate all of you guys coming and hanging out tonight. Yeah, that was for me. That was, like I said, tonight was like a preseason game, kind of seeing where we were at, but the points counted. More props. All right, I got you. I will be putting more props together. And I'm pretty sure for some of like the close to Halloween times, I'll be wearing a costume and stuff like that. But yeah, Bloop Blop, I'm glad. I hope you guys all had an awesome summer. Thanks to everybody that's been watching my yard sale videos and going around with me doing that. It's been really fun. Still a couple weeks of yard sale season left, but I'm ready to get into trivia time, and let's blow this trivia night up and have a good time doing it. And Buck, shoot me a message on my email. I believe you have it, so I can get your address for Stinky here. And there'll be a new sweet nostalgic prize to give away next weekend. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. Have a great rest.